like that.
Last time I started like that.
It worked.
I just didn't do it. Pay college athletes. College athletes around the world should be paid for what they are doing. In this speech, I will discuss the fact that college athletes should be paid because of the work that they do for the NCAA. Listen, my fellow students, I hope y'all agree with me. I'm trying to persuade y'all to why these college athletes should be paid. From the excerpt of Madison Martinez, student athletes will somehow ruin the game if they don't get paid. How would that happen? Student athletes are already getting an experience of what the real world is like, with all these fans yelling in their ear, with all these other outdoor activities that is going on. They already do 43 hours of work each week, which is about equivalent to a full-time job. Many college athletes are being used by the NCAA for the entertainment of the people. From the excerpt of, again, from Madison Martinez, student athletes are the ones who are working on and off the court or field. It is a big effect on what the university brings, and they bring a lot of money to the university that they play for. Coaches might have a big effect on the team, but it's still the athletes that gets it done. Coaches receive bonuses in breaking records, reaching the off season, and winning big games. These athletes receive none of it, even though they are a big part of what's going on around in the NCAA. Those things are what spars my debate and what I'm trying to persuade y'all. Even though scholarships come for these students, not everything is paid for. They still have to look for something to eat. They are still living in a college life. There are unpaid students who are working almost twice as hard as regular college students who can actually get jobs. Another reason is to support their families. Players will actually be affordable of a decent meal and possibly send money back home to their needy families. Most college athletes' purpose is to fully pay for their families whatever they need, what their family needs. They try to get their families out of the struggle. Many of these athletes come from urban, low-class families and often leave school early because of the pressure that they receive from their families, fans, and other people who are in their ear 24/7. Don't forget, these college athletes are young. I get that. That don't mean that they don't deserve to get paid if they're in control of the NCAA. They bring in billions. My solution is to give these athletes that wants to be paid a voice. They need to voice of how they feel about the NCAA. They need to voice of how they're treated. They need to realize that the NCAA needs to realize that without athletes, it will be broke. The average college athlete spends about 43 hours a week within their sport creating a full-time job. Reasons for my solution is that there are still college students. They have coursework. They have practices and additional team activities. College athletes work every single day. They are not allowed, like a regular college student, to be paid, and they are not allowed by the NCAA to be paid. They are not allowed to make money at all. These college athletes should be paid. This is what I want my audience to see. Imagine how happy these college athletes will make their families if they brought home a check. Imagine how happy it would be. The college life is so much easier for these athletes that spend so much time for what they do. They will actually have the opportunity to bring value to their family. Also, like I said earlier in my speech, these athletes come from homes that are not fully suitable and with families with struggling financial support. Even if these athletes don't make it to the pros, they at least have a fallback plan of what's going on and a financial backup from getting paid. I would suggest that they start off at $80,000 in salary, which is not even half, nowhere near half of what real professionals make. Conclusion, players will be able to actually afford a decent meal and possibly send some money back home. Most college athletes have a purpose to putting in the amount of work that they put in. They want to get their family out of the struggle. Student athletes are the ones who are working hard on the court and on the field, everywhere. Coaches might have a big effect on the team, but don't forget, these college athletes get it done. They receive none of the money that is coming to the universities or for the basketball team. But you have these coaches that really receive over $1 million for what they do for breaking records, reaching the off-season, and winning big-time games. Again, I need these college athletes to stand up, to voice up against what they are going to what they are going through the everyday life of their families. This next one, I'll present a video of what's really going on. This is from CNBC, and it would explain from a college athlete, or used to be college athlete, of how these athletes should voice their opinion. He also gives a reason of why they should voice their opinion.
This was never to get checks. This was always about righting a wrong. And I always thought that if a company or someone was to use your likeness, then you should be compensated for it. At the very least, asked if your likeness can be used. And so that's really my biggest thing, is to recognize that your likeness is being used.
And what do you say, Ed, to the NCAA, whose line over and over again is these are student athletes. They are students, they are athletes, they are amateurs, in other words, not professionals. Should that distinction hold? Should it be the case that if you are a student athlete, you should not be able to receive income?
No, not at all. I think with the amount of money that the athletes are bringing in particular basketball and football, they should be compensated as something. I've always kind of said, not $1 million, you know, but a little something to recognize the fact that they are bringing $1 billion into their respective universities.
And Kayla, just so everybody's aware, we're talking about an NCAA that pretty much gets $1 billion in TV ads for March Madness alone. They've got 17 corporate sponsors paying between...
Obviously, from O'Bannon, who was the used to be NCAA star for many years, he voiced an opinion of how these athletes should speak out. These college athletes are putting in full work 24/7. These universities are making billions off what they do. I just please call for my audience to voice their opinions with me, and I'll persuade y'all to stand against the NCAA. Thank you.